Hey everyone, and welcome back to part 2 of the southern leg of our Icelandic road trip. In this video we'll be looking at how to get the most out of the big sites and also all of the other main stops on the way up to Jokulsarlón Glacier Lagoon.
As you will have seen in our part 1 video, the big sites create big crowds. That's why we highly recommend getting up as early as possible to experience the full beauty of these natural wonders in a more peaceful and relaxed setting.
Make sure to like and subscribe for some top tips and tricks for travel in Iceland. As keen photographers, getting to these sites so early is absolutely vital to get those cracking images that you know you want to have. One thing that did make us smile was sharing the views so early on with the local sheep that were still hanging around the waterfalls.
As you can see from the stark contrast, getting to the big waterfalls early makes all the difference.
If you're visiting the southeast coast of Iceland in the summer, make sure to pop over to the black sand beaches such as Reynisfjara or even up to Dyrholaey. This will give you the best chance to see some Atlantic puffins during the window between April and September.
If you're wanting to leave the main road but not venture too far into the highlands, make sure to check out the road to Vatnajökull for some impressive views.
From our experience, we would 100% recommend using a 4x4 as the road, whilst not an F-road, is particularly bumpy.
One for the Star Wars fans, a short drive from Vik on the way to Jokulsarlon, the infamous Yoda cave.
Driving further along the coastline, you come to the famous canyon that's been renowned for featuring in certain music videos, although there is no chance I'm going to be able to pronounce that one. This luscious green canyon provides a fantastic hike. The hike is up a well-paved path and averages around an hour to 2 hours with a full 2 kilometres walk in length. One slight word of caution however, if you plan to send a drone down the canyon, make sure you put it high above the wall so that it doesn't lose signal. It certainly gave me a heart in mouth moment.
The fun thing about Iceland is the local saying, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes and it will change. Sometimes it even felt like we experienced all 4 seasons in just one day.
When driving in Iceland, it is absolutely imperative that you do not stop in the road, and this is something that they are really keen on. However, there are plenty of little stopping points if you need to pull over. Sometimes you may not even need to stop, but you should, because there are some great hidden little waterfalls that you can experience. Maybe not named, but just fantastic to take a moment and enjoy.
Once you're further into the east of Iceland, it can feel like you're driving hours without seeing anyone or anything.
Although out of nowhere you'll come across a random toilet in the middle of nowhere with a viewing point on top of it so that you can stand and take in all of the ancient lava fields around it.
One of the big attractions is Skogafoss in the Vatnajökull National Park. One of the most popular hikes is up to Svartifoss. It's a pretty steep hike with multiple waterfalls along the way. It's sure worth the effort.
It's a well-paved path, just make sure you look where you're putting your feet and don't do what I did. The drive between Skógafoss and Jokulsarlon is by far some of the most scenic areas, with multiple smaller glacial lagoons such as Jökulsárlón and Svartifoss often used in different movies. They're well worth stopping at. Our final stop for the day was to Jokulsarlón Glacier Lagoon. Whilst it's easy to see photos of the Glacial Lagoon and try to understand how it feels to be there, it's a sight that really has to be seen in person to truly understand how magnificent it is. One tip, if you can, would be to visit Skogafoss and Jökulsárlón in the same day, as if you book the parking via the Parker app for both areas, you will actually get a discount and not pay the full price.
Opposite to Jokulsarlon is the famous Diamond Beach, where you can see the ice that has been washed out to sea and then back onto the shore. It is very unpredictable as to how much ice you will see, as the weather has an impact as to how much ice carves off the glacier.
As with the other big sites, when visiting Jökulsárlón during the day, it does get very busy. Whilst the crowds can be a bit off-putting, it's definitely worth visiting during business hours as they have some great food stalls doing some fantastic fish and chips.
One of our favourite moments was visiting first thing in the morning, where we were only accompanied by the local fur seals.
And if not first thing in the morning, make sure to get down in the evening for a beautiful sunset as the sun drops down behind the glacier. If you're planning a relatively compact road trip around Iceland, we would 1000% recommend driving the south coast up to Jokulsarlon and back.
But if you're gunning to go further, make sure to subscribe and check back for our next in the series of our Icelandic ring road trip.